I'm bringing you another tropical weather outlook and discussion, I guess you could say, on tropical storm Isaias. That's how you pronounce it. I'm pretty sure, Isaias. And now winds of 65 mile per hour based on our analysis. National Hurricane Center is going of 75 mile per hour, but it looks like it is really starting to weaken, and I do not see this becoming a hurricane anymore. Here's where it's currently located: 30.2 north, 80.1 west. Here's a look at the National Hurricane Center, and it's currently located right here. Now, I do want to say that I was actually under a hurricane warning here on the east coast of Florida, and we literally did not even get tropical force winds. But I did post some footage of this on the east of that I got from the east coast of Florida. So if you do want to go check that out, go to the channel and go check it out. I posted, I think, a couple of videos. But, we also have 94L that has formed. I'll have another update video on that maybe later on. But here's where this tropical storm Isaias is right now. Now, as you can see right here, really, I did not get any tropical force winds. Right here, I got pretty much zero tropical force winds, and as you can see, most of the East Coast got absolutely nothing. It is crazy to think that basically when I went to sleep, I was under a hurricane warning, and the eye was supposed to go over me. I woke up the morning, I was under a tropical storm warning, and the eye wasn't even supposed to go over me. And then when it actually comes, turns out it literally goes so much out to sea. Literally, when I went to sleep the day before the hurricane was supposed to come, this was the track, and it just surprised me how much it changed. This was the little track. Well, kind of. And so, it is surprising how fast things like that have changed for the good. Florida dodged another bullet with that one. But here's a look at the current track right now. It looks like National Hurricane Center still think it could make a hurricane landfall in the Carolinas, but, I don't think so. So, for me, hurricane warning should be discontinued very soon. We'll see if that ends up happening or not, but you do have a 90% chance of tropical force winds there, as well as around a 10 to 20% chance of hurricane force winds. So, do look out on that as we get into the next couple of days. Peak storm surge looks like you could get 3 to 5 feet around North Carolina, and pretty high flash flooding potential there as well. Now, we had recon flying in and out of the system, and as you can see, it has found it weakening quite significantly down to 1,002 millibars on its latest pass, and it was unable to find anything higher than 60 knots in the entire northeastern quadrant, where yesterday they were finding winds up to 80 mile per hour in the entire northeastern quadrant. So it does look like weakening is definitely occurring. As you can see, even the one before this recon did find some winds up to 65, up to potentially 75 knots, at least 65 knots there on the northeast quadrant, which is no longer, which they can no longer find. So it does look like this is going to weaken quite significantly when we're down to 1,002 millibars, with winds not higher than 60 knots on that northeastern quadrant, which does show signs of quick weakening with the system, it looks like. And National Hurricane Center did go with 998 millibars. We'll see if that ends up changing or not. But nonetheless, here's a look at the satellite imagery. That convection is starting to fall apart a little bit. Yesterday we had a nice symmetrical system, and as you can see, now we have almost an exposed center, the center being around here. We pretty much almost have an exposed center, and that convection kind of, it looks like it is starting to fall apart again slightly. So we'll see if the trend of that continues, or if it is able to maintain itself with that new burst of convection. And we're just going to have to see if it is able to do that or not. Even on the visible high resolution, you can clearly see that it did have an exposed center. It looks like this morning. I think, around there, as you can see, it did have an exposed center right here. So it does look like it is really starting to have trouble once again potentially with shear and things like that. But as you can see, it did have an exposed center. It looks like though the convection is starting to uh, become a little bit more favorable, but that might be a little bit of an intrusion of dry air as well, kind of hurting the system a little bit. But that seems to have kind of stopped. Here's look at the intensity guidance. As you can see, really it might become a little bit stronger in the next 12 hours, but then after that, it looks like it's going to go down from tropical hurricane or tropical storm status to tropical depression status in 48 to 60 hours, which that is pretty fast weakening. And spaghetti models are they're pretty certain on where this is going to go, and landfall in South or North Carolina border seems to be more and more likely with this system. So this is what we're looking at. I'll have another update on 94L potentially later.